Of course, whenever we read, especially in our center, the discussion, any discussion on philosophy of sciences, this very popular essay by Rousseau was introduced, or what is enlightenment, and that fear that probably modernity or the enlightenment thinking or science probably is not a kind of a great value for the coming civilization, and that fear and that anxiety was very much there in Rousseau's writing. And again, probably after when we read again the critiques of the positivism, again similar kind of fears were very much there, that this determinism is of course a very, very problematic concern that one has to acknowledge. And therefore probably when again our most of our courses, when we read people like Popper, this same concern were raised, that probably this determinism is a problem, and until and unless the science is continuously in revolution, continuously in a progress, or there is no stoppage of science at any level, that should be the core concern of science, and that revolution or that change or that progress will be for an ethical purpose, and therefore the concerns that are raised are crucial. And therefore what Satakshi's paper at the end, this fear that we are controlled or managed or disciplined by the science and technology, and we need to kind of think distinctively about this kind of a control and discipline is crucial. But I was also thinking that, like for that matter, Varun suggested that at least in Indian academic tradition, this engagement is somewhere lacking. It is the West that is mostly doing, of course, the scientific advancement and also literature on that, and also building some kind of a relationship with what kind of society we should imagine in the future. So that discipline and that whole school of thought is available in the West, and probably we are learning and somewhere mimicking that part of what West is doing. And therefore I was just thinking that West is not only doing it in a very interesting academic manner, but even in the public discourse, for that matter, if you see the literature and cinema, if you see both the planes, you'll find that the way the interactions are going on, like for that matter, even a very populist novel of Michael Crichton, like Jurassic Park. If you read those kind of novels, you'll find that the kind of imagination they are suggesting and the fears and anxiety that they are portraying in their novels is very much visible, that we are basically moving towards a very difficult and dangerous time. And while suggesting that, they also have this kind of what everybody was suggesting, that some kind of an ethical imperative that we need to stop it, we need to somewhere stall it and create a system which will be beneficial for the human values or humanity in general. And therefore probably I think not only from the academic disciplines which are there very much, but from the popular culture like cinema. I was just thinking that when Satakshi was suggesting that we need to do such an important field work for that, this Debakar Banerjee's very popular film Love, Sex and Dhoka, it is basically about camera, that every part of our life is determined by camera. You cannot simply escape camera, these two cameras for that matter. So everywhere, means without that exposure to the lenses, you cannot imagine your life today. And therefore this discipline and control is almost omnipresent. You cannot simply, it is almost like God. So you cannot escape, and Google or this Meta companies are actually doing that, and they are basically making you subject of their technological order. So this feeling is very much there in cinema, in literature particularly, and probably the academic world, mainly South Asian academic world, is somewhere distant from that, and therefore probably we are still engaging with very introductory note on this particular discussion, society and technology. As I said, that for that matter, again giving examples from cinema, these three important films, Lucy, where the idea of quantum physics, as I said, that she develops her mind in such a fascinating manner at the end that she is able to control all the machines available at her disposal. That power of a mind is shown in that film. Or Player One, Spielberg's very popular film. It's a futuristic film where you can imagine that the world is collapsing and everything is controlled by machines, and you are just a player in that big mechanism. Or even for that matter, Avatar, the second part. It is an ethical film that we are not only destroying Earth, but we are also colonizing the new planets and basically destroying that, and therefore the problems of science.
The
Matrix, of course. There are wonderful expositions are there in literature and science, and therefore probably learning from those, and probably in India, when somebody was suggesting determinism and the relationship of the Indian intellectual thought, probably very recent film Kalki. It is very deterministic film. It has nothing to do with what you call the call for intellectual ability. It is suggested that when the world is about to collapse, when world is already collapsed, there will be an avatar. There will be a prophet. There will be a savior who will come and change the world discourse. And probably in all religious thought, that determinism is very much there. It is more than what you call the application of mind to change the world. It is basically the weight of the prophet. That possibility is, of course, very much there. And probably the Indian science or social sciences or this whole concern about ethical persuasion is almost deterministic, and probably science hardly respect that. Science technology doesn't mean, for science and technology, the ethical parameter doesn't mean anything. It appears like an utilitarian concept, and if you force an utilitarian approach to deal with science and technology, it will not able to function. And therefore that dialogue is a very, very difficult dialogue. I absolutely learned a lot from today's discussion. I thought I just this stray thoughts today to deliver. Thank you very much for asking me to speak.